The last kind of factoring for day one would be factoring a trinomial that has a leading coefficient greater than 1. So it has a leading coefficient greater than 1. Here's what I mean by that. We're going to factor the trinomial 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. Here's how I know this is one of those kinds of problems. This time I have a 2 here instead of just an x squared. And all of these terms don't have a 2 in common, so I know this one is going to be probably the hardest kind of factoring that we do. So this time, instead of putting an x and an x times x is only x squared, and I want 2x squared. So instead of x and x, I'm going to put 2x and x. Because 2x times x is 2x squared, and that gives me my first term. All right, the last two numbers are going to be just like the other kind of problem. They have to be factors of 12. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. However, this time, the factor pair is not going to add or subtract to give me this number. Because a lot of times, one of these factor pairs won't do that. And I'm going to have to be strategic about the way that I pick my numbers. So I'm going to always try guess and check with the numbers that are closest together. So in this particular case, I'm going to try a 3 here and a 4 here. Now, notice 3 and 4 do not give me 11. And they don't have to this time, because this time the number that I put in this spot is going to be multiplied by the number over here. So these outside terms give me 8x, and the inside terms give me 3x. And 8x and 3x will give me 11x. So even though 3 and 4 don't add to give me 11, I'm still picking 3 and 4 because they give me 12. And then when I take the 4 times the 2 and the 3 times the x, I get 11x. Now, sometimes I don't pick the right answer on the very first time. And so I'm going to try that on the next problem. We're going to just kind of do guess and check here until we can figure it out. So 3x squared minus 20x minus 7. So this one, notice I have a 3 here. So these are going to be the hardest kind to guess and check. This time, instead of x and x, I have to have 3x and x. So then I'm going to think about the factor pairs of 7, 1 and 7. So I'm going to purposefully do this one wrong so I can show you how we can fix it. So this time I'm going to put 7 here and 1 here. We won't always pick the right numbers from the start. When I do 3x times 1, I get 3x, and this times this is 7x. And there's no way that 7x and 3x can give me negative 20. So that means I might have either picked the wrong numbers, or I might have them in the wrong order. So instead of 7 and 1, I'm going to change it and try 1 and 7. So I'm going to move that over here just so I don't confuse anyone. So I'm going to try the 3x with the 1, and I'm going to try the x with the 7. So let's see if we have any more luck this time. This gives me 21x, and this gives me 1x. So 21x and 1x, if I want it to be negative 20, the 21 has to be negative and the 1 has to be positive. So again, some of these may take a while with guess and check, and that's okay. Also, when you do delta math, they may have a different process. And so if you watch their video and you like the way they do the problem better, feel free to use their way. It won't hurt my feelings. Okay, let's make this a more difficult problem. Let's do 12x squared plus 7x minus 12. So I want to try to factor this one. Well, on this one, it's even a little more difficult because I don't know if this is 12x and 1x. It could also be 2x and 6x or 3x and 4x. There are lots of different options to multiply to give me 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, or 3 and 4. So I'm going to have to do guess and check and see which one I like. To multiply to give me 12, it could be 1 and 12, Could be 2 and 6, or it could be 3 and 4. More times than not, you need to pick the numbers that are closer together for your guess and check. So I'm going to start with these two because they're close together. If they don't work, that's okay. I'll try something else. I'm going to try these two because they're close together. If they don't work, I'll try something else. So this would give me 12x, and this would give me 12x. Is there any way that 12x and 12x could give me 7x? Nope. So I'm going to switch it around, and I'm going to try the 4 in this spot and the 3 in this spot and see how that works. So I'm going to cross that off and try again here. So 3x and 3 is 9x, and 4x and 4x is 16x. Is there any way that 16x and 9x could give me 7? Yes. If I have positive 16 and negative 9, that would be positive 7. So since this part gives me the 16, it's the plus. This part gives me the 9, it's the minus. We can check that out and see if that works. 3x plus 4, 4x minus 3. So this is 12x squared. That's good. This is minus 9x. This is plus 16x. And this is minus 12. And that gives me plus 7x. So I'm in good shape. All the parts work out. This is one of the hardest kinds of problems you'll do in math. Kids struggle with factoring. Make sure that if you have questions, you're contacting me. We can set up a Google Meet. We can set up some after-school tutoring, but I'll be glad to help you in any way I can.